Hello everyone and welcome to another video of Naval Action with Ron GB. Today we are going to see a battle about the USS Constitution. Now this is a special battle because the other team has bigger ships. They actually have two Bellonas and one Santissima. We have one Santissima and one Bellona. The enemy team doesn't have any Constitution. We have one, which is myself, but that doesn't mean a lot because the Constitution is nowhere close as powerful as a Bellona is. So what you are going to see here is, well, some one of the things you can do to help getting over the fact that the other team has bigger ships or is more powerful. You will see that in due time. So, well, the USS Constitution is a ship that Sidestrafe usually accuses me of me not liking it. Now, I do like it. However, I think that, well, let's say that the Trincomalee is so good. It's actually gotten a little bit worse with today's patch, but it's still so good that, yeah, the Constitution is not such a huge improvement over the Trincomalee. It is, but not as much as you would expect. I also happen to like ships that maneuver well, and the Constitution, while maneuverable, is a frigate after all, compared with ships of the line, is a maneuverable ship, but for a frigate it's not really that maneuverable. It's a very long ship, very narrow ship, which was built for speed, not for maneuverability, and it shows. So, well, what I'm going to do here is the initial stage of the fight is pretty much going in a straight line, so I'm going to cut it a little bit and come back when things start getting interesting. Okay, a couple of minutes have passed and we have mostly been sailing in a straight line. As you can see, I'm quite in the disengaged side. I'm letting the ships of the line, the Santissima and the Bellona, do their stuff, and I'm farther than them. That's because I don't want to be targeted in this early on. Also, when you are in small ships, in not ships of the line, when you are in frigates or smaller, you usually want to be in the disengaged side of the fight for the initial stages. That's because you don't want to be in the line of sight of one of your big ships, so you don't interrupt their lines of fire. You want to stay clear of them, giving them room to maneuver and giving them clear lines of sight to fire on the enemy. Frigates also don't usually do a lot of damage to enemy ships of the line. Frigates are good to deal with enemy frigates. So yeah, the idea here is I want to stay off and away, not to be damaged, and yeah, just staying clear of the action until I can start, well, putting some effective fire down range. So you can see me here placing past some small snows. I'm trying to keep some cohesion with my other frigates, with the Trincomalies in our team. And here you have a good instance of what do you want to stay to the engaged side of your bigger ships, because this brig here is essentially interrupting me from fire on the enemy. And that's what you want to do in lighter ships. The lighter ship you are, the more concerned you have to be to stay on the clear side of your team, because you don't want to do what this guy is doing to me. I can't fire because he's in the middle of my line of sight. So, well, finally seems that the brig is slowing down. He has realized that he's staying on my line of sight, which is a pretty welcome thing. And you're going to watch me firing for the first time. Now take some ranging shot on the enemy Santissima Trinidad. This is very long range, I'm not going to do anything to his hull, so what I do is aim higher and put all my shots over his decks. Now the idea here is to keep on doing that until I achieve a mast. I want that Santissima out of the fight, because if we demast him, he won't be able to move as fast as his teammates, and we will be able to overpower his teammates meanwhile he's repairing and catching up with them again. So at this range I know I'm not going to even dent the first rate armor, but I can work a little bit on his sails, and it's what I'm going to do. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who don't like this kind of thing because, well, they say, "Oh, being demasted is no fun." But well, if it's what you have to do to win a battle, then it's perfectly fine. Also, it works both ways. The same way you can demast enemies, enemies can demast you. However, it just happens that for one of the sides, the masting might be useful, while for the other, it's a waste of time. For the other team, the masting us is pretty much a waste of time. For us, it's pretty vital. So you can see me here ranging again. I have the perfect elevation to get some shots just going over the decks of the enemy, and hopefully some of them will be hitting the masts and disabling rigging, and well, in due time hopefully we will achieve a demast. Now here you are going to see a serious problem, and that's why I say you want to give bigger ships room to maneuver. I have to do all kinds of magic here not to crash. And yeah, the guys who come behind me have to do all kind of magic tricks not to crash against me. And all because a Trincomalee didn't know how to keep position in the fleet. So now most of our ships are going towards west, and I'm going towards east. But I'm going to use this time to put a broadside just over the enemy's Centissima decks, and now I'm going to reverse my course which will put me behind my big ships. Meanwhile, I will be able to shoot from my starboard broadside again after I have just shot with my port guns. This is one of the things of the frigates I like the most, and this is one of the reasons the Constitution I don't think is as good as the Trincomalee. The Trincomalee can swivel very fast, can turn really quickly. The Constitution is not as quick, so double broadsides are not as effective. So you can see I'm putting a little bit of distance here, and now I'm completing my turn. I take aim again, ranging shot to make sure my ammunition is going just over the enemy's Centissima Trinidad. Since my range is perfectly set up, so I open up and well, no demasts, but seems that most of our shots are going at the proper place, so it's just a matter of time. Meanwhile, well, I finally set a course which is more or less the same as the rest of my team. I start receiving a little bit of fire, but at this range is not really bothersome because it's from enemy light ships, and the Constitution has armor, has pretty good armor. Now I slow down significantly so here because for starters I know I have something to my starboard, my port bow. And also because I don't want to have the same trouble as I had before. Yeah, you can see I have swiveled my yards against the wind to slow down because I want that brig to move out of the way. Now I'm neutralizing my sails to slow down. Now I'm putting them against the wind again to lose speed and set the wind of my sails, so that goddamn brig gets out of my line of fire. But the guy is totally oblivious, he doesn't notice I'm still waiting for him to move on so I can shoot. I should anyway have the proper elevation. And oh joy, there goes the mainmast. And soon enough, another broadside from another ship in our fleet will destroy the Santissima's foremast as well. And from then on, the enemy Santissima will be reduced to a snail's pace. He will have to repair masts, he will lose ground compared with his teammates, and we will be able to shoot at the enemies in detail. There goes his foremast as well. So now they have an immobilized first rate. Now I'm switching courses again because I have spotted that my big ships are coming this way. So now we are going all merrily in the same direction, at least the big ships, we are all going in the same direction. You can see the first rate behind there with our Bellona in hot trail, and the enemy frigates are starting to come very close to us. So I turn to starboard. I'm going to try to shoot that Trincomalee. Of course, the problem is that I have a lot of friendly ships in the way, so I'll have to wait to the proper moment to open fire, which seems to be more or less right now. With the surprise out of the way, I take aim. What's the shot? Still a little bit short ranged. Need more. It's a more shot, by the way. Open up. Get some really nice hits. And it's time to reverse courses. Of course, now I have a surprise stuck on my back, and that's not really nice, but well, if I keep a straight line, I will be moving into the support of my team, so I don't actually turn. Instead, I take aim with my rear guns. I spot the surprise is starting to turn. I do as well to prevent him breaking me. He's also firing to someone else, which is really good. That means I'm not going to get hit by him. One ranging shot, I know I have the range. I open up on him. Batter his starboard side. Double back towards starboard. Get my starboard battery ready. Take a ranging shot. Open up. And blast that guy. So well, now we are in a bit of a problem here, because if you see where our first rate is, well, now we are in the same position as the brig was before. We are actually stopping the first rate from actually shooting. But I have a Bellona coming close to my starboard side. I can't really go. And here I'm trying to aim directly for the first rate to go past him and to clear his line of fire. But the problem is that all the ships that are to my starboard are preventing me from turning in the proper direction, because I would like to turn a little bit more towards my starboard. But I can't, because these guys are coming this way. And I can't. My plan was going behind the first rate and go past him, clear his way, but I can't because these guys are preventing me to do it. So a little bit annoying, but not much I can do at the moment. But try to get out of the way as soon as we can. Meanwhile, well, we have a good chance to put some shots on that Bellona. I do so. Take a look. The first rate is totally masked by our ships. Thankfully, I'm not one of them because I'm ahead of him. But our own fleet is stopping our first rate from operating, which is just bad. But people simply don't get it. They don't bother, and they get mad when the first rate open fires and they get shot. Well, if you are in the line of fire of a bigger ship, don't complain. You put yourself in that position, and the first rate should be firing all the time. Because of course, right now, the first rate not being able to shoot means that that Bellona is coming close and nothing is stopping it. Which is a serious problem. So well, finally I'm more or less on the clear here. And I try to again turn to starboard to, well, stay as far as possible from our first rate to give him enough room to maneuver, enough position to fire. But here the problem is evident again. I have a brig in front of me. I can't open fire on that Bellona. You can see that if I open up now, I'm going to hit him. And when it's not this brig, it's going to be that snow. Meanwhile, the third rate is coming in and nothing is shooting at it, because our own team is masking him. So I am forced to brake here. I use my sails against the wind to stop and be able to open fire, which I do. And now what I'm going to do is to try to turn towards him, to slip behind him and give a rear shot. You can see I'm moving very slowly. Slowly turning. I don't go against the wind, instead I stop here and I start accelerating. Of course, this whole problem of me not being able to open fire means that I'm no longer in the band of my formation. I'm lagging behind. And all the enemy ships that are coming are going to feast on me, because I was forced to stop. And seriously, bad teammates are worse than good enemies. But, well, I guess it is what it is right now. We have to make do with whatever teams the matchmaker decides we are going to sail with. But this was really annoying. Still, I have a perfect raking shot, which I obviously take. And, well, here's the problem I was talking about. I was forced to move so close to the wind that I'm almost stopped, and the enemy ships are coming really quickly. And I'm going to be paying for that in a short notice. Because now everyone is moving ahead, I'm left behind, and I'm going to be the one who's going to take everyone's fire. And seriously, I'm going to be honest here. At one point or another, I'm going to get fed with it. And the next time, I'm not going to say the next time it happens, but at one point in the future, when I have a smaller ship clouding my shot into the enemy, what I'm going to do is to open up anyway. And to hell with the small ship. He shouldn't be there in the first instance. But of course, well, I try not to be an ass. So I didn't do it. But you can see I'm really battered. I'm running out of repairs. Only have one left. And my pump is damaged. And all because I'm in a position I shouldn't be in, because I was in the band of the formation, not in the rear. And now I'm in the rear taking all the shots. But well, I'll take it with a smile and use my position to open up on that Bellona. And in assisting, it's sinking. Thankfully, my position here means that all the enemies are focusing me, as usually happens. That means that they are not actually shooting at the target they should be shooting at, which is the Santissima. That means, of course, that on the long run, my team is going to win by me doing this. But you can see the third rate is shooting at me with a first rate in plain sight of his guns. So instead of shooting the Santissima, they chose to shoot a Constitution. Well, that's not going to work very well for them. But at a personal level, I have to admit this was really annoying. Because you can see everyone is shooting at me. Everyone. All those guys are shooting at me. No one is taking even the time to try to aim at anything else. Even at the very big first rate that they have just there. Not complaining. I mean, well, yes, I'm actually complaining because this doesn't make any sense, and of course I have to pay the price because they don't know how to prioritize. But it's all good because in the end this mission we are going to win this battle. Still, at a personal level, it's really annoying. Gotta admit it. So I go to survival because I have some flooding and my pumps are damaged. Of course, being in survival means I'm slower turning, my guns reload much slower. So now I'm in, but by every measurement I'm in survival mode, not just in the crew focus. I'm also focused on survival right now. I know I'm in a very bad spot, and my big ships are too far ahead to be of assistance. And it's not as if the enemy actually would rather fire at the Santissima than me. So yeah, not good at all. So well, slowly getting rid of the flooding. I'm not in immediate danger of sinking, but one Reaper left, third rate opening his starboard guns towards me. I know I'm going to get shot very soon. There you go. Thankfully, that Bellona had double shot loaded and I was far away, so he couldn't shoot at me, but that doesn't mean anything. That only means that the next broadside is going to find its mark because he's going to reload it with his standard ball. And yeah, I'm still far behind. I'm one of the last ships in my team. So, well, what I try to do here is to go directly for my biggest ships. Of course, that's going to put me into the line of sight and line of fire of a lot of enemies. And I'm going to be hurting, but my only way to survive this is by doing what I'm doing right now. I open up on that surprise. A little bit too long range, but I was not in the mood to actually take aim. I mean, right now it's all about running as fast as I can and get into the protected range of my ships of the line. Meanwhile, you can see the enemy Santissima has arrived. He has repaired the masts. Again, receiving heavy fire. I use my last repair. I simply have to keep on going. I can't spare the time to maneuver or do anything. I just have to get away from here. So our Santissima is hitting their Santissima pretty badly. And my situation is becoming worse and worse by the moment because the third rate is closing in right now. It's scooting towards my rear. So what I'm going to do here is something I wouldn't usually do, but this is a last ditch and last resort maneuver. I have to go past our Santissima Trinidad and move between him and the enemy Santissima Trinidad because I need our first rates to shield me. Otherwise I'm going to go down. So it's what I do. I blaze past him, I do a hard turn to port. That way I will also be able to open up on the rear of the Santissima Trinidad, and now it's all about turning around which I'm going to do, and thankfully this guy is still reloading, he won't be able to do anything to me. Now I had a little bit of a recording problem here, but I resumed recording pretty soon, so it's a very small, maybe 5 seconds lost, nothing big. Right now I'm really worried, because if that guy opens up on me right now I'm dead, but I'm hoping he will go down before reloading. And yep, I was able to move past him, and he opens up just as I clear him. Ooh, that was close. Still, I'm very damaged. I have my port side really in shadows. I'm building floating up, slow by slow, because my pump is damaged. So what I'm going to do is to turn away from that trincomalee there and try to use my first rate as cover again. I go into survival because that floating has to stop, but in the end it's not going to be enough. At this moment I recognize that if I get hit once again I'm going down. So my whole focus is trying to get out of the enemy lines of fire. Bellona is coming close. And I'm getting hit anyway, which again makes no sense whatsoever, because we have a first rate and a third rate right there, and people are shooting at the Constitution. Really doesn't make sense, but it's what happens. Again, I guess it's all good after all, because again that means that people are focusing on their own target. Right now I'm so damaged, I have lost all my armor in the rear side, my left armor is almost gone. I know I'm going to go down. At this moment I know there's nothing that I can do to stop it, so I'm going to, well, try to put as many balls on the enemy as I can. Take aim and finish off that surprise. Take a look around. We are absolutely winning this. And as you can see, the flooding is actually mounting up. Slowly but steadily. I know I'm going to go down. Right now I know I'm dead. But I still try to keep on going and, well, winning as much time as I can, because, well, I might be able to put more broadsides on the enemy. There's still an enemy third rate in the fight. He's not going to last much longer, because of course our Santissima Trinidad and our own Bellona are going to do a sortie off of him. Maneuvering to try to get distance, while at the same time giving me enough room to shoot my guns when they are ready. Flooding goes up to maybe 50% and is increasing. Third rate is just surrounded by friendly ships, so I know that one I won't be able to shoot at. So I keep my turn. I check that a brig is pretty badly mangled. Instead, there's a surprise there that might be a pretty good target for my guns. Start taking ranging shots. Still a little bit short. That should be on target. I open up with all my guns, and indeed I get a lot of hits. Flooding is up, maybe 70%. I try to swivel around to open up with my starboard battery, because right now I have merely seconds of life in front of me only. Slowly it's turning around. Flooding is still going up. Right now the only question is, will I be able to shoot the last broadside before sinking or not? Of course, the mountain flooding means that I'm having trouble turning the ship, because the more water you have on board, the less responsible your ship tends to be. And with this level of flooding, of course, the ship doesn't want to turn very well. Okay, I'm almost there. That surprise is still there. Take aim. Shoot again. That seems to be pretty much on target. I open up with everything. And again, I get a quite a sizable amount of hits there. But well, that's going to be it for me, because, well, flooding is now up to maybe 85%. Ship is just floundering, and I can't do anything to prevent it. One of the things I'm looking forward the most is the new damage model they are going to introduce in, well, hope it's going to be very soon, which is going to model individual pumps for ships. So big ships which have several pumps won't have the problem I'm suffering right now. Only one pump is modeled. If you get that damaged, well, you go down with damage that wouldn't get you if you have several pumps. Well, with the new damage model, the ships which have several pumps will get the several pumps modeled, and if one of them is knocked out, you will still have another one, so the problem won't be as serious right now. In any case, yeah, flooding is going up. Ship is already tilting very badly. I'm starting to have some water on the level of my gun deck, and that means that I'm going to go down in seconds. Still, I'm fighting hard to win a last shot against that brig. But the problem is that the first raid might stop me from shooting. But seems unclear. If I rush this, I will be able to shoot. I am, but most of my shots, as you can see, actually splash about water in front of me because my gun ports are going down. And that means that my ship is as well. So down with the fish I go to the Beyond's locker. Oh well, at least I did what I could. There it is. I'm down. But well, the battle we indeed won. So let's jump to results and check out how we did. Well, actually, since the moment the enemy first raid was demonstrated, we had most of the fight won. But it didn't help that the enemy ships focused at me instead of focusing big ships, like the Santissima or the Bellona. Still, I was able to pull 21k damage, which for a Constitution is really good. I was pretty happy with how I handled this battle and how I sailed. I wasn't that happy that it really seems that everyone looks at my name tag and they shoot me no matter what's near beside me. I had a Santissimo Trinidad beside me, and they were shooting at me. Still, well, that I guess ensured our win, so in the end it was all good. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this battle. I hope you had fun watching it. And as always, thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you later.